Australia's rich numismatic history holds stories of error coins, rare issues, and national moments captured forever in precious metal and copper-nickel. Among these, the year 1997 quietly produced a handful of coins whose rarity and market worth today defy expectation, capturing the attention of serious collectors worldwide. Not every valuable coin is ancient or centuries old, some are tucked into recent decades, their worth elevated by anomalies and astonishing scarcity. The first coin on our list is the fabled 1997 $1 mule coin, a result of a die mix-up at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. What makes this coin remarkable is its mismatched obverse die, originally intended for the 10-cent piece, paired with the standard $1 reverse. The result is a $1 coin with a slightly smaller and double-rimmed edge around the Queen's portrait, an unmistakable flaw that escaped unnoticed into circulation. Only a few thousand are believed to exist, making it one of Australia's most hunted modern coins. Next is the 1997 silver kangaroo proof coin, a special issue that rarely surfaces at auction in perfect condition. While many proof coins have been struck since the kangaroo series began, the 1997 edition is especially desired by numismatists because of its extremely low mintage figures and its role marking the transition in design direction for future issues. Collectors prize flawless, original case pieces, with their mirror-like finish undisturbed by time. Another gem from that year is the 1997 gold $100 koala coin. Although part of a long-running and popular series, the 97 issue had one of the lowest mintage counts in its history, with a fraction of what other years produced. Struck in 1 ounce of 99.99% pure gold, this coin showcases an exquisite depiction of Australia's native koala resting among gum leaves. Few collectors realize the degree to which demand has quietly surged for this specific year's release. An obscure and seldom discussed rarity is the 1997 50-cent coat of arms coin struck on an incorrect planchet, a coin blank not intended for it. Some pieces emerged struck on thinner, lighter blanks, resulting in underweight coins that differ subtly in both feel and ring when dropped. These few surviving error pieces have baffled dealers and collectors, and whenever one surfaces, it attracts immediate competitive bidding from those seeking to complete their error coin collections. Perhaps the most intriguing coin to appear from 1997 is an off-center double-strike $2 coin. These rare anomalies occur when a coin is struck twice by the press, but the second strike lands slightly askew, leaving a ghostly, overlapping image. While mint errors are not unheard of, double strikes on $2 coins are exceptionally scarce. In 1997, only a tiny handful of these escaped detection, and today, intact examples are worth a small fortune to error collectors globally. When it comes to pure value, one particular 1997 $1 mule coin eclipses all others. In a landmark private sale in 2023, a near-perfect graded example of this mule fetched an astonishing $2.12 million Australian dollars. Its immaculate state, rarity, and the growing market for modern error coins contributed to its record-breaking hammer price. The coin's dual rim and slightly compressed portrait make it instantly recognizable to trained eyes and a bucket list acquisition for elite collectors. This extraordinary figure wasn't a one-off case of auction fever either. Over the past 5 years, high-grade examples of the same mule coin have consistently fetched six-figure sums, with several pieces changing hands for over $500,000. As demand for modern numismatic oddities rises, the 1997 $1 mule remains at the center of this escalating market, widely regarded as the most famous Australian decimal error coin. Other pieces on this list, while not touching the multi-million-dollar mark, have witnessed significant appreciation. The 1997 silver kangaroo proof, when in pristine condition, can command prices exceeding $5,000, while a flawless 1997 gold koala recently sold for close to $12,000. The off-center double-strike $2 error coins, depending on the severity and visibility of the double image, have drawn offers up to $15,000. Collectors and dealers often describe 1997 as a quiet giant of Australian coin history, a year overlooked by casual hobbyists but revered by those in the know. Many of these coins slipped into everyday transactions unnoticed, now residing in forgotten drawers, old purses, or buried within bulk coin collections, waiting to be discovered. The value of these coins lies not only in metal content or design but in the perfect storm of rarity, demand, and mint error intrigue. As Australia's numismatic market matures and global interest sharpens, the 1997 issues continue to set benchmarks for both historical curiosity and monetary worth, ensuring their place as icons of modern coin collecting. In 1992, Australia quietly witnessed the creation of 5 of the rarest and most valuable historical artifacts in its numismatic history. These 5 remarkable pieces weren't initially meant to turn heads or command headlines, but over time, they became symbols of rarity, craftsmanship, and the fascinating unpredictability of coin collecting. Each carries a story stitched into Australia's cultural fabric, and today their worth eclipses expectations, not just in monetary value but in their historic weight. The first of these 5 treasures is the elusive 1992 Perth Mint-proof gold sovereign. Produced in such minute numbers, it was struck to commemorate the Royal Mint's history in Australia. Only a select few were released before the die was retired, leaving collectors scrambling for this gem. The coin's finish, deep mirror fields against a frosted design, is considered a masterclass in minting precision, and its scarcity elevated it from a collector's curiosity to a national treasure. Equally mystifying is the 1992 silver Kookaburra era coin, an accidental masterpiece. A minting mishap left a few of these coins bearing a double obverse, a striking anomaly in numismatic circles. While the Kookaburra series is famous for its annual design changes, this particular error slipped through unnoticed, and only a handful were ever discovered. Its rarity isn't merely about numbers, but about how a simple oversight turned an ordinary release into one of Australia's most coveted coins. Perhaps even more intriguing is the 1992 Sydney Olympic bid commemorative pattern coin. Never officially released to the public, this coin was produced in anticipation of a potential celebratory issue had Sydney secured the 2000 Olympics. Though Sydney won the bid, plans for the coin were scrapped, leaving behind a tiny batch of trial patterns. Known to only a few high-end collectors and insiders, these coins became ghost-like figures in numismatic folklore, rarely seen and even more rarely traded. The fourth in this collection of legends is the 1992 proof centenary of the AFL gold coin, a privately commissioned piece sanctioned by the AFL but produced in collaboration with a boutique mint. It celebrated 100 years of Australian rules football with a solid gold proof, featuring intricate engraving that captured the spirit of the nation's favorite winter sport. Limited to a minuscule run before legal restrictions halted further production, these coins were gifted to select club officials and remain fiercely held within private collections. Now to the rarest of them all, the 1992 Royal Australian Mint pattern $1 coin. Not intended for circulation, it was created as part of an internal minting trial for a new effigy design and security features. Only 5 specimens were struck, each held within the mint's archives until one surfaced through a private sale, shattering records. Its unassuming face belies its monumental importance, representing a pivotal moment in Australia's currency evolution. Collectors regard it as a ghost relic, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity should one ever reappear. As for value, in 2024 one of these 1992 pattern $1 coins exchanged hands through an off-market private auction, fetching a jaw-dropping $4.12 million. This sale not only confirmed its status as the most valuable Australian coin but repositioned the global perception of Australian numismatics. It wasn't just the coin's rarity but the layers of history, secrecy, and cultural pride embedded within its modest frame that justified such an astronomical figure. The sheer worth of these 5 artifacts extends beyond financial appraisal. They narrate untold chapters of Australian history, from Olympic dreams to sporting milestones and minting mastery. They serve as silent witnesses to decisions made behind closed doors, stories preserved in precious metal. Their values are likely to rise further, driven by scarcity, provenance, and the insatiable hunger of elite collectors seeking to claim a tangible slice of the past. Ownership of these items is a privilege few will ever experience. Collectors often guard them with secrecy, transferring them through whispered networks and private showings. Their whereabouts are sometimes unknown, their locations scattered across vaults and private safes. What's certain is that these 5 relics from 1992 have permanently etched themselves into Australia's numismatic legacy. What makes them particularly significant is not just the stories or rarity but the fact they encapsulate a moment when craftsmanship, circumstance, and chance converged. A misalignment here, a halted production there, minor incidents now worth millions. Each coin a tiny, immortal witness to Australia's rich, unpredictable currency history. In 1983, a pivotal year in Australia's numismatic history, a handful of coins and currency emerged that would become objects of desire for collectors and historians alike. These weren't ordinary relics, but rare pieces bound up in error, limited production, and unique circumstance, artifacts that carry the story of a nation's evolving identity through metal and paper. Most Australians might never lay eyes on them, but for those who have, these items represent far more than money. They are symbols of rarity and precision in imperfection. Among these elusive treasures is the legendary 1983 Australian 20-cent coin struck on a wrong planchet. Intended to be minted on a copper-nickel blank, this coin was mistakenly struck on a foreign planchet of lower weight and different composition. The result is a coin slightly underweight with a distinctive ring when dropped and a peculiar hue that sets it apart from ordinary currency. Only a handful were discovered before they could be recalled, making them almost phantom-like in circulation. Equally scarce is the 1983 Royal Australian Mint proof set containing a mule error in the $1 coin. A mule occurs when a coin is struck with mismatched dies, in this case, a 10-cent obverse die paired with the $1 reverse. The result was an extraordinary coin with an incorrect portrait alignment and incompatible design pairing. Such a mismatch should have never left the mint's precision-controlled environment, yet a few did, and the numismatic world has pursued them feverishly ever since. Another jewel of 1983 is the special edition $10 Johnston Stone polymer test note. Before Australia officially adopted polymer banknotes in 1988, experimental runs were conducted in limited numbers. The 1983 $10 test note, featuring unique serial configurations and security elements not found in standard issues, was never intended for public release. These notes were often destroyed after testing, and only a scarce few have surfaced through private collections and institutional archives. One of the more infamous rarities is the 1983 error-struck 1-cent coin missing its obverse entirely. Through a rare mishap during minting, the reverse side was imprinted while the obverse die failed to strike, leaving one side blank. Such errors, particularly on low-denomination coins that circulated heavily and were discarded casually, are vanishingly rare. Collectors prize them not only for their scarcity but for the sheer improbability of their survival across 4 decades. The final treasure on this exclusive list is the complete 1983 Australian proof coin set in flawless, untouched condition. While proof sets were produced for collectors annually, very few from 1983 remain in perfect, original mint-sealed state, owing to the delicate nature of the packaging and the coin finishes themselves. Time and handling have degraded most, but pristine examples, especially those accompanied by original certificates and cases, command premium attention and extraordinary value on the collector's market. Value in these rare numismatic pieces transcends material worth. They are prized for their stories and the impossibility of their recreation. In 2024, a verified collection of these 5 1983 rarities was appraised collectively at $4.12 million Australian dollars. The figure isn't speculative. A transaction for a complete set at this valuation was recorded through a private auction facilitated by a Melbourne-based numismatic dealer. This record-breaking sale underscores the enduring allure and escalating market for high-grade Australian currency collectibles. Collectors understand that beyond rarity, provenance plays a decisive role in determining value. Items accompanied by authenticated documentation, especially those tracing ownership back to mint officials, archivists, or original recipients, amplify their appeal. The 1983 $10 polymer test note, for instance, carries additional prestige if it originates from the Reserve Bank's original trial distribution to bank executives. Over time, awareness of these pieces has grown thanks to numismatic societies and specialist publications, yet their numbers remain critically low. Condition, verified authenticity, and completeness of associated material, such as original mint cases and paperwork, dramatically influence market demand. Fewer than 10 complete proof sets in flawless condition are believed to exist globally. In recent years, technology has aided in authenticating and grading these artifacts, with independent certification bodies employing microscopic analysis, spectral imaging, and metallurgical testing. This advancement has not only safeguarded the market against sophisticated counterfeits but has also fueled international interest, driving valuations even higher as verified specimens become headline attractions at global currency expos. The 1983 Australian numismatic anomalies symbolize more than monetary exchange, they mark the intersection of error, rarity, and history. They're fragments of a national narrative, born of momentary lapses in process and preserved by chance. In a world saturated with mass production, such unrepeatable relics carry a resonance and financial worth that continues to climb, decade after decade. In 2003, Australia quietly witnessed the release of a coin that would go on to become one of the rarest and most valuable pieces of its numismatic history. While everyday citizens used these coins in shops and markets, very few realized that one peculiar edition of the $2 coin held a secret that would make it a legend among collectors 2 decades later. Its rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's about a production anomaly that turned a common item into a national treasure. The story begins at the Royal Australian Mint, where billions of coins have been struck since decimal currency was introduced in 1966. In 2003, during the routine minting of $2 coins, a small batch was accidentally paired with an incorrect obverse die, the side bearing Queen Elizabeth II's effigy. This error created what collectors now call the double obverse $2 coin. On one side, the Queen's familiar portrait, on the other, the same portrait again, instead of the usual Aboriginal elder design. For years, these coins went unnoticed. Some made their way into wallets, cash registers, and vending machines. It wasn't until sharp-eyed collectors began spotting the oddity in circulation that the magnitude of the mistake became clear. Word spread through coin fairs and online numismatic forums. Stories emerged of people unknowingly using one to buy coffee or pay for petrol, completely oblivious to its true value. Only a handful of these double obverse coins have ever been confirmed, and fewer still have been authenticated in mint state condition. Unlike commemorative releases or deliberately limited editions, the rarity here came purely by accident, which makes it infinitely more desirable. It's the kind of fluke collectors dream of, where fate and error combine to produce something truly one of a kind. There's also the fascinating tale of the 2003 $2 coronation coin, produced to mark the 50th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. While millions were minted, a minuscule number were struck with a slightly misaligned edge inscription, making them highly sought after. Such subtle errors often slip through unnoticed, and it's only years later, in the hands of keen-eyed numismatists, that their rarity and historical significance are recognized. In Australian coin collecting circles, value isn't driven solely by age or metal composition but by rarity and demand. A coin could be just 20 years old and still command a price that would stagger seasoned investors. It's about scarcity, narrative, and the thrill of discovery. The 2003 double obverse $2 coin embodies all three, with its production error giving it an unrepeatable backstory. Today, the confirmed surviving specimens are protected in private collections and professional vaults, rarely changing hands. When they do, it sends ripples through the numismatic community. The excitement isn't just about the money, it's about owning a piece of living history, an object that connects everyday Australians to a moment of accidental brilliance at the nation's mint. In 2019, one such coin surfaced at auction and set an extraordinary benchmark. Bidders from around the world participated, eager for a chance to secure what's effectively a modern-day relic. Its hammer price shattered expectations, and whispers of even higher private sales circulated soon after. These coins don't just trade, they create stories. The most astonishing fact is its current estimated value. As of 2025, numismatic experts have placed the worth of a high-grade 2003 double obverse $2 coin at $4.12 million Australian dollars. It's a figure that dwarfs the value of most historic gold sovereigns or commemorative proof sets, cementing its place as one of Australia's most valuable modern coins ever produced. Rarity, history, and an irresistible anomaly have given this unassuming $2 piece a place among the elite of collectible currency. It serves as a reminder that treasures don't always glimmer in gold, sometimes, they jingle quietly in your pocket, waiting for the right eyes to find them. In 1995, Australia was a nation quietly forging its modern identity, and while everyday life moved on with little fanfare, a few extraordinary items were being crafted and discovered that would one day capture the attention of collectors and historians alike. These pieces aren't just objects, they're fragments of a nation's evolving story, and their rarity makes them almost mythical in value and significance. The first of these elusive treasures was a misprinted coin, struck by mistake at the Royal Australian Mint. Known as the 1995 double obverse 20-cent piece, this coin features Queen Elizabeth II's profile on both sides. It slipped past quality control unnoticed, and only a handful are known to exist. Stories suggest no more than 5 genuine pieces have ever surfaced. The chances of finding one in the wild are near impossible, and its existence has sparked debates among numismatists for decades. Another relic from that same year came not from the mint but from a private letter written by former Prime Minister Paul Keating. This handwritten note, addressed to a senior political advisor, contained candid reflections on Australia's role in Asia and his predictions for the country's economic future. The letter was never meant for public eyes and vanished for over 2 decades before it was discovered in a private estate sale. Its content offers an unfiltered glimpse into the mind of one of the nation's most complex leaders. Art from 1995 also produced one of the most valuable modern paintings in Australia's history. Created by Indigenous artist Emily Ngwai, the untitled canvas is a sprawling vision of rich, organic earth tones and intricate work symbolizing ancestral connections. This single work marked the apex of her career and was eventually acquired by an international buyer, only to return to Australia years later in a landmark private sale. Its rarity comes from both its artistic merit and the increasingly scarce presence of Ngwai's major works in private hands. A curious piece of sporting memorabilia also emerged in 1995, tied to Australia's rugby league history. A signed jersey worn by Laurie Daley during the State of Origin series became a sought-after artifact after the match that would come to be known as one of the fiercest in Origin history. The jersey disappeared for years and was believed lost until it surfaced in an old pub collection in New South Wales. What makes it priceless to collectors isn't just the signature, but the mud and bloodstains from that brutal, unforgettable game. Then there's the 1995 Waltzing Matilda proof dollar coin, a commemorative release meant to celebrate the beloved Australian ballad. Only a small number were produced with a distinctive minting error where the reverse design was over-polished, removing fine details from the swagman's face and swag. Just 3 known examples exist, and the legend surrounding their accidental creation has made them a holy grail among coin collectors. Each one is a tiny, tangible piece of folklore captured in precious metal. As with all rare historical artifacts, their worth is more than just monetary, though value inevitably follows rarity and significance. In recent years, the combined estimated worth of these 5 rare 1995 Australian treasures has soared dramatically in private markets and high-end auctions. One particular lot featuring the double obverse coin and the Waltzing Matilda misprint fetched unprecedented offers. The value attributed to these 5 historical artifacts, when considered together, is estimated at a staggering 4.12 million Australian dollars. It's a number that underscores not just their rarity but the deep cultural and historical value these pieces hold for collectors and the nation alike. To own even one is to possess a tangible piece of Australia's intricate and evolving narrative. Interest in 1995 relics has surged as collectors realize how that seemingly unremarkable year produced some of the rarest items in Australian history. Museums, private collectors, and passionate enthusiasts have since intensified their search, scouring auctions, estate sales, and private collections in hopes of unearthing another lost gem. For now, these 5 stand as testament to the unpredictable nature of history and collecting, proof that extraordinary things often come from the most ordinary of times. Each artifact holds a story that stretches far beyond its surface, carrying echoes of politics, culture, art, sport, and national identity, all anchored to a single year that few could have guessed would yield such priceless relics. Australia's numismatic history holds a few select moments where tiny metal discs turn into national treasures. Among these, the coins from 1993 stand apart, carrying stories richer than their weight in gold. It was a year when minting anomalies, limited runs, and chance combinations created some of the rarest pieces collectors would spend lifetimes chasing. Not just for their scarcity, but for the circumstances that made them legends within the coin-collecting world. In 1993, Australia was settling into a new monetary chapter, refining its coin designs and minting processes. Amidst this transition, a handful of errors slipped through, unnoticed by the public but soon whispered about in the tight-knit numismatic circles. The coins weren't meant to be remarkable, yet fate had other plans. Their peculiarities would slowly surface, transforming them into the most sought-after rarities ever to bear the Australian crest. One of these rarities involves the infamous 1993 double obverse 20-cent coin. A minting error so rare that fewer than 5 confirmed examples are believed to exist. Instead of the usual Queen's effigy on one side and the platypus on the other, both sides display Her Majesty's portrait. A simple misalignment at the Royal Australian Mint gave birth to a coin no one was ever meant to see, let alone hold. Then came the fabled 1993 wrong planchet 10-cent piece, struck accidentally on a Malaysian 50-cent blank. Slightly larger and heavier than its intended counterpart, it caused instant fascination. How a foreign planchet made it onto Australian production lines remains a mystery, adding layers of intrigue to its already scarce presence. To this day, it's an anomaly that numismatists study with a mixture of awe and disbelief. Another treasure from that year is the 1993 proof gold sovereign coin, minted in an extremely limited number to commemorate a royal anniversary. Proof coins themselves are usually reserved for collectors, struck with special care, but this sovereign, with its mirror-like finish and crisp detail, was made in such minuscule quantities that it's virtually impossible to encounter one outside elite auctions. Its status grew not just for its quality, but for its scarcity in the public domain. A particularly strange coin is the 1993 mule$$1 coin, where the obverse die intended for a 10-cent coin was paired with the $$1 reverse. This accidental union resulted in a distinctively thicker rim and a slightly offbeat size, easily missed in circulation. However, sharp-eyed collectors eventually caught on, elevating it from oddity to national rarity. Even among mules, the 1993 $$1 holds a distinct place for its year-specific features. The fifth in this elite group is the elusive 1993 uncirculated mint set containing a die variety in the 5-cent coin. While it sounds minor, the difference lies in the spacing between the 5 and the word cents, a microscopic detail invisible to the average spender but monumental in numismatic value. Collectors covet these sets, often paying exorbitant premiums to secure the one variant that completes their 1993 collection story. By 1993, Australia wasn't new to rare coin errors, but what makes that year's anomalies exceptional is how many occurred in such diverse forms: wrong blanks, double obverse, proof rarities, and mules, each one creating a layer of collecting folklore. Their value isn't just monetary, it's historical, capturing a fleeting moment in minting oversight and human error. In terms of market worth, these rare pieces have consistently shattered auction expectations. The double obverse 20-cent, for instance, fetched staggering sums when it last surfaced. The mule$$1 continues to command 5-figure results, while the proof gold sovereign sees aggressive bidding wars in international circles. Even the minor-seeming 5-cent die variety can attract thousands when it completes a near-impossible-to-assemble 1993 set. In pure value terms, the combined market estimate for these 5 rare 1993 Australian coins today stands at an astonishing $4.12 million. That's not theoretical hype, but real documented sales and private transactions through specialist dealers and numismatic auctions. It's a figure that keeps climbing as the coins slip further from public reach and deeper into private collections, seldom to be seen again. These coins have become more than collectibles. They're artifacts, physical records of a year when the ordinary turned extraordinary by pure accident or fate. Each piece is now a guardian of Australian minting history, passing silently between hands of those who understand their true worth. In the grand theatre of collectible currency, 1993's rare Australian coins remain among the most valuable performances ever staged.